Adult Swim's very iconic Rick and Morty recently wrapped up its 8th season, so I thought now it'd be a nice idea to give my personal ranking of all the seasons from worst to most amazing. If you agree or disagree with my list and analogies on the rankings, feel free to comment about it on this video or give your own personal list now that we have 8 full seasons of this show. By the way, I'm not including the Rick and Morty anime spin-off. Some people did do this when ranking the seasons, but in my opinion, as it's not part of the real show, I don't count it. Without further ado, let's get started now. Coming in last place, at number 8, we have Season 5. Okay, so because Rick and Morty, in a way, has always stayed the same kind of show throughout its entire run, no season is utterly terrible. In fact, this season by itself, if you would take away the small amount of lows, this season really is just alright enough. That being said, the bad episodes of this season are very face-palmingly bad. Rick the Pendant Spray, Cordron Cherry's Rick Vangelion. These episodes are outright bottom of the barrel for Rick and Morty. The former is stupidly pointless and just kind of gross throughout, while the latter is just kind of painful to watch. Seriously, poor Morty. Definitely both episodes worthy of skipping. Those were 2 out of 10 D-tier episodes. But even then, some of the average episodes are straight up forgettable and uninteresting. Like, can you tell me with a straight face that you actually cared about the episode Rick and Morty's Thanksploitation Spectacular? Episodes like Moordstinner Rick Ander and Forgetting Sarek Moordshall were a little better, but still very much middle of the road. Okay, I'm not saying there wasn't any good to take out of the season. The episode Rick Turnal Friendshine of the Spotless Moord was really good, and so was Rick Murai Jack, but the highs couldn't quite balance out the badness for it not to be the lowest ranked season. Coming in 7th place, we have Season 8. Being the newest season of the series after 12 years of the show airing, it was certainly a little noticeable that the writers just stopped trying their truly best with the episodes. It had a couple of creative ideas and well put together action, but it still very much felt off in general. This season is kind of the biggest definition of average through and through, making this season much more quality consistent than Season 5, which I suppose is a good thing. The weakest episode is probably the Easter special, The Last Temptation of Cherry, but at least it's only C tier in my opinion. The censored naked people pile scene was really something I didn't need to see. I almost feel sorry for showing it. The episode The Rick, The Moord and The Ugly was quite alright and all around good by modern Rick and Morty standards, just nothing spectacular. Hot Rick was really decent, but Season 7's Vier No Moord was agreeably the better Diane episodes. Every single episode besides these three are just kind of whatever. A little bland and boring, with some originality thrown in. Coming in 6th place, we have Season 7. With admittedly somewhat less good voice actors for Rick and Morty than Justin Roiland aside, this season is just very so-so, just like Season 8, which is why the quality between this one and that one really isn't all that big, but in the end, this season gets a slight edge. Let's begin with the bad. Wet Good Amortican Summer was kind of cringe. As far as the How Booby Got His Boob Back episode goes, I didn't dislike it as much as the average viewer, but I can definitely agree that it very much felt like a monotonous celebrity episode of Modern Simpsons. The average episodes of this season aren't horribly forgettable, but I would never go back to them often. On the other hand, this season's few highs are really high though. Unmortrigen is right up there with the most awesome Evil Morty episodes, and Vier no Mort might just be one of the best episodes in the show period. So basically, this season is 60% average, 20% lows, and 20% highs. A pretty precise balance in quality. In 5th place, we have Season 4. Vast majority of fans will agree that Season 4 is where Rick and Morty's prime began to lose its teeth. It's not an immense quality shift or anything, like what Fairly Odd Parents Season 6 was compared to its 5 first seasons, but I guess the biggest problem was that this is the season that started the trend of Rick and Morty episodes that are just kind of there. Episodes that are nothing genuinely insightful and just very barely something to write home about. Half of these episodes are okay at worst, but at the same time only sort of decent at best, such as The Old Man and the Seeds, Rattlestar Rick Lactica, and Prometheus, to name a few. Sure, their concepts are memorable, but do you find yourself really caring about their actual plots? I don't think so. I can appreciate Rick and Morty trying out new things they had never really done before, but their rather poor execution just make them fall pretty flat. A prime example to prove this point is Claw and Hoarder Special Rick Tim's Morty. The idea of a plot all about dragons and a plot about a cat who mysteriously can talk can always sound dope on paper, but because they really didn't turn out dope, it makes the episode just feel like a letdown. Alright, I've only pointed out negative things about this season so far, so now on to the good, because this season is still ranked higher than 3 whole other ones. The second half of the season is where it really started to get great, with episodes like Never Rigging Morty, which is one mind-boggling ride of an episode, and the Vat of Acid episode, another fantastic episode. I really liked watching Childrick of Mort. It had a delightful storytelling. The best episode of season 4, in my opinion, is Starmort Return of the Cherry, by far. This season finale has so much spot on humor, sharp action scenes. We finally got to see a deeper dive into Beth being a clone, and it absolutely delivered. It's one of, if not maybe even the best episodes of Rick and Morty's past 5 seasons. It's a season with both blemishes and strong highlights, but despite it missing out on being in the first half of the best Rick and Morty seasons, it's still one I like more than dislike.